First, a key player in all this, Secretary of the Interior, Doug Burgum. Secretary, welcome. President Trump's moves in the energy sector here and abroad are aimed at two clear goals: restoring prosperity and securing our own nation. I want to start with how you're moving the ball forward to lower prices. We've got the national average for a gallon of gasoline at $2.93, but even lower than that in many other states. Electricity prices also fluctuate state to state. That's some of the rub here. Talk to me about how you can get everyone to work together to move those prices down.
Well, Jackie, great to be with you. And absolutely, President Trump is the first president that's really understood that energy policy drives national security and energy policy drives our economy. And President Trump taking the lead in his first year, getting so many things accomplished across the board, across the whole of government to turn around this ship to where we can focus on having affordable, reliable, secure energy sources as opposed to unreliable, intermittent, foreign-sourced. And again, whether it's in the working families tax cut bill that was passed last year that was great for Americans, also in that ending these outrageous subsidies which subsidized unreliable, unaffordable sources of energy. But as you say, individual results may vary based on what state you're in. With the ruling on the endangerment finding, this is knocking down the house of cards that began with Obama 20 years ago that basically raised the cost. That was trillions of dollars of regulatory cost that came out of the pockets of America on things like, you know, what car you could buy, what gas heater you could use for heating water in your home, essentially reducing consumer choice, driving up prices. But President Trump, the actions that he's taking, these are some of the biggest red tape regulatory reductions, cost savings to American ever by any president. Truly amazing steps going forward that President Trump leading the way on energy policy for Americans.
And this administration is also reversing the long war on American coal. It's part of a diversification process. Let's listen.
We've rejuvenated coal also, but we're not allowed to use the word coal without saying clean, beautiful coal, because it needs a PR job, right?
You recently posted this on X saying, "Mine, baby, mine." That, of course, drew some criticism, even as the United States faces one of the harshest winters in years. Explain to me why coal is so important in the overall energy picture.
Well, coal is a reliable, affordable, secure source of energy. And man, coal was the superstar a few weeks ago during this incredible storm and cold weather that we had in the Northeast. There was parts of our country where 25% of the electricity was coming from our thermal coal plants. We've spent hundreds of billions of dollars on this green fantasy on wind and solar in our country, just in the Northeast. And during that storm, when coal was providing a quarter of the electricity, wind and solar was providing 2%. And it is so bad. We had wood and trash were providing more electricity in New England during that storm than wind and solar were. So it is absolutely essential to keeping the lights on, keeping the heat on, and keeping America going. And under Biden administration, there was no energy transition, it was energy subtraction. They were actually shutting down baseload energy and then replacing it with taking 7 by 24 affordable American and replacing it with intermittent, unreliable, weather-dependent sources of energy. That's energy subtraction. So President Trump driving this forward, but on mining in general, whether we've got to get back in the mining business in this country. We graduated 36,000 lawyers last year in America. We graduated about 300 people with mining and metallurgical degrees. 100 years ago, the United States was the mining powerhouse on essential things: copper, aluminum, metallurgical coal produces coke, which we need for making steel. We've got to get back. When we do it cleaner, better, safer, and smarter than anyone else in the world. We should be developing it here, not being reliant on countries like China, which have a stranglehold on the critical minerals we need for defense, that we need for electronics, that we need for household appliances, that we need for manufacturing in America, that we've got to get back. And President Trump taking steps to make sure we've got control of our critical minerals destiny.
I want to drill down on that. It's a major vulnerability for the United States. China controls roughly 70% of global critical mineral processing. Listen to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on the importance of this.
The U.S. is leading in solving this rare earth problem. Countries are not sovereign. You are not sovereign if one country can control your supply chains, and we are making our supply chains resilient.
So the president now pouring $12 billion into stockpiling strategic minerals. You started talking a little bit about that. This is a war against China. It's national security, but it's also about American business and having control of it.
Yeah, and with President Trump as the deal maker in chief, that $12 billion that you referenced, not coming from the taxpayers. This is $10 billion of that is going to be a loan from the Exim Bank. About $2 billion of that is coming from private sector equity, creating critical mineral strategic reserve the same way we have always had a strategic petroleum reserve. But the strategic petroleum reserve, we use tax dollars to buy oil and to store it. In this case, it's going to be the private sector industries that need these minerals to ensure their supply chain, their factories can stay open. I mean, just last year when China was threatening export controls, we were only a couple weeks away from most auto plants in America shutting down. We can't have that, as Scott Bessent says. So with this stockpiling, we'll have 60 different stockpiles for the 60 different critical minerals that we're tracking. It'll be funded by funded by the industry. Taxpayers will actually get a return on it. It's going to be a moneymaker for taxpayers. So innovative new way to solve it. But with that inventory, we can absorb and withstand the supply shocks and the illegal dumping that China was doing to try to wipe out American companies.
Secretary Burgum, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time.